Hey y'all, and welcome to Monner's Market, and welcome to the Heidi Sonboul DIY Challenge. This month's theme is winter, and I have really been feeling under the weather. So what I did so that I could have a video for you today is I went way back to last year when my channel was brand new and hardly anybody seen the videos that I'm going to be sharing with you today. So when I'm talking, if things seem a little out of sort and the timeline doesn't seem right, then that's going to be why. There will be a playlist listed below, so make sure you go watch what Heidi and everyone else has done for you today. And I'll be back in just a little bit to talk to you more. So let's get into the video. For DIY number 1, I made a tree collar for my daughter, and it turned out beautiful. This is it. It is a tree collar. The white box down on the bottom under my daughter's tree. I made that, y'all. I made that with my own bare hands. Well, with a little bit of help from my husband. So, her and I went shopping, and we looked for one all day long and couldn't find one. And I was like, Heather, I can make that for you. I don't think she thought I could, but, you know, I love a good challenge. So, she told me the size she wanted it. I went to Home Depot. I got the materials for it. I came home and sanded everything down. And what I used was some wood sheeting. I wish I would have got the name of that, but it's kind of like a thin plywood. And then these little 1x2s. And I looked at the picture that she found online that she liked, except it was brown and she wanted hers white. So that was it. It was 2 foot all the way around, so 24 inches wide all the way around and 14 inches high. So once I got my measurements, I got everything cut down to size, and then it was just a matter of sanding everything down, getting it all cleaned up, which is what I'm doing here. I'm wiping it all down and getting all that sawdust off of there from where I sanded it. And then I start to put it together. Now, when I put it together, what I did is took some wood glue, and everything that I nailed together, I made sure that I put some wood glue on it first. That way it's kind of double held, if that makes any sense. So I just made my little squares, and once I got all 4 of my squares put together, then I screwed those all together. And then on the very front, you'll see in just a little bit where I added some hinges and a lock. And that was because her tree was already up, and we needed a way to get that big box on there without having to try to pick that whole big humongous tree up. So it worked out perfect to have the door on it, and then that way she can just open it, slide it on there, and then close it back. But I cannot believe that I made this. The one that I seen online was $149, y'all. $149. I couldn't believe it. This I made for less than $40. So, and I really don't even think it was that much, but when you add the hinges and the lock and the screws and the paint and the little things, that's how it ends up being like right at $40. So I got my 4 sides together with the help of my grandson Daniel. That's my soldier. He just came back from boot camp in July, and put it together like this. And then I needed to go back and add the little X's in the middle. This part, easy peasy, super, no problem. Yeah. This, now I'm going to hush and I'm going to let you listen to this. This is the most precious thing you will ever hear in your life.
Pull and release, and that lets it come up. Okay, and you cut this way, this right here. You can cut 45 that way.
That's what I need right there.
Now, also, if you wanted to, see this one right here down to a 45?
Yeah.
You can loosen this right here, and it lays over on a 45. Okay.
Awesome.
And then when you ain't using it, put that pin in. But it's on wheels, so you can use it when you need it.
Look at me.
Y'all, I just can't. Ain't he the most precious thing in the world? He was so worried about me trying to lug that saw around that he took that cart and he bolted that thing down on some pieces of wood where it wouldn't move on me. He was so worried that I was going to do something and it was going to snatch the piece of wood or whatever and take my fingers off or something. So he made sure that he bolted it so good that it ain't going nowhere. When I saw with that thing, it is not going anywhere. And I just, oh my God, 30 years and he still gives me butterflies. I can't with him, y'all. I just can't. But anyway, it was getting late. It was already dark outside. And he said, baby, let me help you get this done. Now, mind you, the man had been working all day long and came home and made sure that we didn't stop until we got it done. So I just got to brag on my sweetheart a little bit. But we got the middles cut out, and this is what they look like once we got them put together. And again, I took the wood glue and some brad nails and placed them on there. And then on the ends where each piece goes together, I took a 3-inch screw. Now, it might seem like overkill, but I wanted to make sure that that thing was solid. And it was. It ended up turning out really good. And I just screwed those pieces together. But that was it. It was so simple and so easy. And once I got all of my X's in place in the middle, it was just a matter of painting it. And like I said, she wanted it white. But I did do a little bit of distressing with some of the brown Waverly. It's not brown. What is it called? Truffle. With the brown truffle chalk paint. And once I distressed it a little bit, that was it. It was super easy. It was time consuming because it's a big, huge monster of a box. But it was so much easier than I could have ever imagined. And this time last year, I could have never imagined myself even starting to make something like this. But yet I did. And I think it turned out perfect. Heather absolutely loves it. And I'm just really, really proud of myself. So now this, I really want to hear what you think about it in the comments. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have switched over to a tree collar from a tree skirt. That seems to be the thing this year. Everybody's doing that. So I might just go on and build me one myself. I didn't really think I would like it, but once it was done and I saw it under the tree, I really like it. Some of them are using like the galvanized metal ones. Some are using these box ones. There's just a variety of different tree collars now, but I really, I know I'm bragging and patting myself on the shoulder, but y'all, I never would have dreamed I could have done something like this. But look at it. I'm so proud. And that is all I have for you today. I just want to thank you again for coming, especially the ones of you who keep coming back. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. If you're new here, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram, as well as here on Facebook, all at Monter's Market. I just want to wish everybody a very, very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And look at this thing one more time under the tree. And I just think it turned out perfect. But if you celebrate Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or anything else, I hope you have the most amazing holiday season this year. And however you choose to recognize it, I hope you have the best season ever. Now let's continue on with the video and 2 more DIYs. So for DIY number 1, I am going to make this cute little door hanger or sign or whatever you want to call it, using one of the signs from Dollar Tree, a calendar from Dollar Tree, and some Mod Podge, and that's literally it. This will be the quickest, easiest thing that I have made in a while, and I'm telling you, it is a perfect way to start for someone who's just starting out crafting and wants to sort of get their feet wet in trying to do some of these crafts. So literally all I do is take the Mod Podge and paint it all over the picture. Now I use the back side because it's already clean and smooth and ready to go. And you can put some brown craft paper on the other side to cover up that picture if you want to and give it a more finished professional look. Once you get it done, be careful to place your picture in the center of your image, you know, where you want the most of the image to be shown, because we will be removing the rest of the corners by taking a hand sanding block that you can get from the Dollar Tree, and you will see me just rub downward, and it gives it the cleanest, most smooth edge that I have not found a way to get it any smoother or cleaner than using this method right here. So I just continue around the paper until I have all of that excess paper off, and then I take the Mod Podge and go all over the top of the picture, and that is going to seal in my picture and give it a really nice finish. And I want to say that this is the satin Mod Podge. Yeah, I see the yellow on the bottle. That is the satin Mod Podge. So a thing about Mod Podge is they have so many different kinds, but honestly, I grab whatever I grab. I have probably 6 or 7 different types, and I just grab whatever. So anyway, now I take this Waverly Antique Wax from, or I just said Waverly. It is from Waverly. All right, Brenda, get your brain straight. So I take it and I go around the edge of the picture, and then I take my excess and then just sort of rub it all over the picture to distress it up a little bit. And then I get these cute laser cuts that I got a little while back from Dollar Tree and find a star, because we all know that a star represents Christmas and the top of the tree and all that good stuff, and get it ready to hang off of my little flower that I'm going to put on there, or greenery, or whatever you want to call it. Then I take my twine, wrap it a few times around the edge. Now, I did fight with this, but after I realized that I needed to glue right on the corners and it would hold my twine, I didn't fight with it so much, and I finally ended up figuring it out. Also, once I finished everything, as with all of my pictures, I go back and cover the back in the browned craft paper. And again, like I said before, that just gives it a really nice professional finish. So I went through my greenery bucket and I just found a few random pieces of greenery. I don't even know what it came from or anything, but I just grabbed a few pieces, made myself a little finger bow, and hung my star from it, and then glued it all down on the top of my picture. And then I was ready to put the little hanger on. Now, whenever I made the hanger, I simply took some twine, ran it through the picture. I took 3 natural beads that will be linked below. Literally everything I'm using that can be linked below will be linked below. The only thing I couldn't find was this round picture here. Those are seasonal, and you can't always find them. So I take my twine, run it through there, and then I run my beads through both of those pieces of twine at the same time, and then tie a little knot in it, and voila, bamboo, that is it. I am done, and look at this adorable picture. I love it. It is not screaming Christmas, but it is just enough Christmas to be Christmas in July. So make sure you leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think about this first DIY. If you like it, is it something you would hang up in your house and proudly display? And whatever you do, make sure you leave me a big thumbs up. Definitely comment. I always comment you back. If you're not already subscribed, click that button and subscribe. Now let's get into DIY number 2. I am so stinking excited about DIY number 2. This is a Christmas present. So this is a present that I am making for someone special in my life. I'm not going to say who she is because she watches my channel and I don't want to give it away. But I take one of these boxes that you can get from the Dollar Tree and I am going to turn it into a little jewelry box. Now, the first step to doing that is to remove just one corner or backside of this lid and be super careful whenever you cut it not to lose the integrity of the other 3 pieces that you're leaving. And that is so that we can hinge that and it would open and close. We wouldn't be able to open and close it if we left that little piece on there. Now, this is an old napkin that I had laying around because I have a wedding/party business also. And I thought it would make a really pretty lining for the inside of this box. So I will be lining the inside and the top with this. And I think I forgot to tell you that I painted it with white Waverly chalk paint. I am getting way ahead of myself. So I just take the, what is it called? Napkin. And you see me, I'm just kind of eyeballing and sizing it up, cutting it piece for piece and sticking it down in there and just gluing it with some Mod Podge all the way around the box. Now, I only put 1 coat of the white Waverly chalk paint on there because I'm going to finish it in this beautiful, beautiful tissue paper. Now, I've never decoupaged anything in my life, so this will be my first time, but I'm super excited about doing it. So I'm just kind of sizing it out. I'm not being real careful about anything. And I'm taking the Mod Podge and just literally gluing it down. Now, when I'm gluing it down, I am not being super careful and I'm not at all trying to get it really super smooth because I did want some sort of texture to it. And when you're using tissue paper and Mod Podge, it's going to lay flat. There's no doubt about it. It's going to lay flat. But I wanted to have sort of a textured feel to the outside of the box. And believe it or not, I successfully accomplished that. So I just continued all the way around the box and all the way around the lid and Mod Podged it down, and look how pretty it's looking already. Once I got it Mod Podged down, then I went back over the top of it and Mod Podged the whole thing again, and that was to seal it all in and to give it a nice coat. And now you see me going in and covering the lid, and it is so stinking easy. I cannot believe this is the first thing that I've ever decoupaged, if you will. I mean, that's what they call it. But I've literally never done anything like this. Now, if I have done something like this, I don't remember it. I keep trying to think, have I done this before? But I really don't think I have with the tissue paper. I have done it with like fabric and things like that, but I don't remember ever doing it with this. Now, look at this, y'all. This is the clincher. These are the hinges that I'm going to use. I got them for 49 cents at Hobby Lobby, and look at that latch. Is that not gorgeous? 49 cents, and there's 2 of them there, and then the handle. Now, all I'm going to do is sort of place them in the position that I want them, and get it to where it's sort of centered on that box top. And then I'm just going to take a pin and I'm going to mark inside those holes right there. And this is just me trying to fiddle around with it to make sure it's in the right spot. Then I'm going to mark my holes to see where to put my screws. And then I'm just going to take, you see my little X-Acto knife, and just sort of drill me a little hole in there like a pilot hole. And that's going to make it so much easier to get those screws in that box. Now, these screws are so tiny that with that lining in there, you'll never see it, you'll never feel it. And I go in and I just attach everything, and look, it cannot get any easier than making that box. And it looks so shabby chic, gorgeous to me. I love it, and I'm going to make me a few of them for my room, because if you saw recently, I just did a table that would match this perfectly. So I will link that video down below, but look at that box, y'all. I am so eager to see what you think about this in the comments. Let me know if you're as excited about it as I am. I mean, you're talking about less than $2 for the whole thing, because each one of those 3 packets was 49 cents, and I only used half of the packets. So, And then I'm opening the inside. Look. Now, right there, you see that the lid was not lined. I forgot the lid, and when I opened it right there, I remembered, and I went back and fixed it. So, let me know what you think about this down in the comments below. So, thank you for coming and watching. I hope you liked the 3 DIYs that I had for you today. If for some reason you are still here, but you started late, these are from last year when I very first started my channel, and I wanted to share them again because not very many people saw them. So thank you, Heidi, for having this playlist and allowing me to be a part of it. And there will be a playlist linked in the description box below. Make sure you go to that. Watch what everybody's done for you today. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. Be blessed. Bye now.